Welcome to Discover Barnstable, the official podcast of the Town of Barnstable, a podcast where you can meet the people who steward the programs and services for the Town of Barnstable that connects us to our quality of life. We invite you to join the conversation as we navigate municipal government and our community pathways to help you discover Barnstable. I'm Lynn Poyant, and on this episode of Discover Barnstable, we are joined by Assistant Director of Human Resources, Tammy Cunningham, and Chair of the Disability Commission, Paul Logan. Tammy is the Assistant Director of Human Resources, serving in this capacity since 2005. Most recently, she was named ADA Coordinator for Barnstable. She originally began her commitment to municipal work in the town of Yarmouth beginning in 1996, which is where she recognized the direct impact the work performed had on the community, prompting her to pursue her education in this area. Tammy holds a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and a Master's in Public Administration with a focus on human resources from Suffolk University. Tammy's tenure with Barnstable has provided her many opportunities, resulting in rewards from her work, to include the development of the first employee handbook, successful launches of 2 application tracking systems, and a recent procurement of $250,000 grant from the Massachusetts Office of Disability for the town to conduct a comprehensive self-evaluation and transition plan. However, she is most proud of the contribution she performs on a daily basis in cultivating a responsive, supportive climate to support the many needs of the town's large workforce. In addition to her position with the Town of Barnstable, Tammy currently serves as the Eastern Region PSHRA President, Vice President and Program Chair with the Cape Cod Human Resources Association, and the South Coast PSHRA Treasurer. That is a lot. We are also very happy to have with us Paul Logan. Paul is a graduate of Chelmsford High School and Bentley University. He's in his 8th year volunteering with the Barnstable Disability Commission. Retired now, Paul spent his career in finance, focusing on corporate strategic finance and analysis. Paul generously volunteers his time with the Cotuit Kettleers as a board member and with the Cape Cod Baseball League as the treasurer, and with his neighborhood board of directors. Paul moved to Cotuit with his wife Janet, who works in the town clerk's office, and their 2 daughters 25 years ago. And although Paul and his wife grew up off Cape, both daughters are proud graduates of Barnstable High School, and they recently made Paul and Janet grandparents. So congratulations on that major achievement.
Thank you.
Out of all the achievements you have, that has to be the best. So this is, we're really happy that you've decided to come back and join us, because last time we had a conversation, we realized there is so much going on with the Americans with Disabilities Act and all that the Barnstable Disability Commission does, and with the self-evaluation and transition plan. So why don't we start there? Where are we today with that plan?
With that plan, well, it's a very large plan.
It is a very large plan, and it's on our website.
It's on our website, and it's housed in all of our departments' divisions, so it's a continuous conversation as well as an area that's improving on. So as DPW or departments' divisions are looking at programs, services, properties that had been identified of areas of concern or needing to be addressed relating to access, we are looking to that plan to guide us like where we need to be for the priorities of the work in the town.
And so it's not something that's going to be, or it's not something that's been put on a shelf. It's an active work every day.
It is a living document, and it's continuously improving and being looked to guide us in the work going forward through capital improvements as well as daily work that's being addressed.
And I remember last time we had talked about the work that this plan had informed, especially as it related to the town clerk and actually voting. Mm-hmm. There were a number of things with access to buildings, parking spaces, the heights of the signs that were located at different locations, those kind of things. And we had to make some changes at different places. One of the places was the West Barnstable Community Building.
Yes.
So it's great. Paul, you're the chair of the Barnstable Disability Commission, and it is a really well-regarded commission throughout the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Why don't you speak a little bit about what you have going on these days?
Sure. In a lot of ways, we've helped other disability commissions on Cape Cod first, specifically Mashpee, Sandwich, Yarmouth. And with the grant that we received back a few years ago, the grant that you just mentioned, I'll echo what Tammy said. It is a living document. And as such, we got great exposure from not only that Massachusetts Office on Disability, based on what the contractor did for us and how it's going to be integrated within the town of Barnstable. We're seeing results. We started seeing results over a year ago with the capital improvement projects that Tammy alluded to, as well as several other departments getting involved with some of the planning for the changes that need to be done to bring the town up to a better standard. And as a result, we've had a lot of interaction with many of the state departments, and we've actually benefited from so many great members of the Disability Commission and the discussions we've had internally and how they get brought out externally with not only just the town of Barnstable, but seeking information and seeking best practices within the state. And as a result, fortunately, we've been able to draw some publicity, which is not what we seek, that we seek. What we want to do is just try to bring Barnstable to be one of the leading cities or towns in the Commonwealth when it comes to disability access, be it physical or programmatic.
That's wonderful. And I have to say that Barnstable has been a leader, and a lot of it is because it's so collaborative. It's collaborative internally with the different departments. But you mentioned a number of towns that you're working with. And how are you assisting these other communities?
We're really learning from each other. In some of these towns, they're a new commission. And as a result, they're seeking advice from folks that have been up and running for quite some time. And it was in 1986 that the Commonwealth approved commissions within the state. So 351 cities and towns in the state had an opportunity to set up a commission. And that group had certain, I'll say, bylaws, restrictions at the same, not restrictions, as far as, help me out here, a walking path to the progress and best laid plans, so to speak. And as we've moved forward since 1986, I believe it was in the early 90s that Barnstable took it upon itself with the help of folks who were interested in forming a commission, and it brings us to where we are today in 2024.
That's pretty wild. So in 1986, that was when the town of Barnstable was still a town meeting, selectman form of government. But if it took place in the early 90s, that would have been when we had transitioned to a town council, town manager form of government. Mm-hmm. That's great. So you've been around for a while.
The early 93, and I can say that Tammy is the most veteran person on the Disability Commission, which has been terrific for the commission as well as for the town, and we continue to move forward.
And there's something to have that continuity in someone who has been such a long-term employee and who is so highly respected. I mean, it was great when Tammy was named the ADA coordinator for the town, just because of all the work that she had done for so long. And how do you assist Town of Barnstable residents with guidance? What kind of items do residents come to the Disability Commission?
Anything and everything, and they either reach out to the phone number for the Disability Commission, or they email the commission, or they somehow find their way to the Disability Commission. As ADA coordinator in Town of Barnstable, a lot of folks just reach out to Tammy in her position as ADA coordinator. Many times if folks don't know who to reach out to, they go to HR or the town clerk's office. Majority of them go through HR if they don't know. But the Disability Commission does have a phone number and an email address, and as the ADA coordinator and a member of the commission, Tammy fields those, and she can give you some idea.
And I know that I've actually shared some things with you that have come through the town main mailbox.
Yes.
Because we have the general mailbox, and there have been people who've had issues somewhere in town, and they've wanted to bring it to our attention. So we've been able to have that sent straight to you. But what kind of things besides parking, which we know there's been a number of complaints about that, but what else are people? Is it access to a building? What kind of issues are they bringing to your attention?
It's inaccessible buildings. It could be that they're at a beach and they're finding it difficult to access the beach, whether it be the way to water or there could be parking issues. It could also be programmatic, or maybe they need an accommodation to be able to participate in a program or receive services. So there's a lot of different topics that they'll connect with us. Sometimes it has nothing to do with the town. It may be with a private entity where we may need to refer them to another organization or advise them on the appropriate process they could follow to remedy the situation. Certainly, we encourage conversation, and we're always available to support and assist. And if we can't remedy, then we would, identify the appropriate agency that potentially could, whether it be an organization on the Cape that could help them, or it might be a state agency.
And I know that the Disability Commission was very helpful with us, and I think that we talked about this last time with closed captioning for our government access channel, and also the hearing-assisted equipment that we upgraded within the hearing room because we had an older system that wasn't as good, and as technology has changed, we've come with new equipment that can actually go through someone's cell phone so that they're not totally reliant, so that things that they already have can just be augmented by the equipment that we're able to provide. And people are using it. I can tell you that people have, there's a couple of people that come to town council on a pretty regular basis who have been making use of that equipment.
That's fantastic.
And that's one of the, let's say, one of the offshoots of the Disability Commission, is we've helped out at Barnstable High School in the Performing Arts Center, obviously within the town of Barnstable, specifically the town offices on Main Street, and if that's how it becomes an initial issue, and then the fruition is, as you mentioned, the software that we've added, the connectivity to phones, and to your point about the closed captioning, that has really benefited not only members of the commission, but members around town, citizens around town who are looking to access town meetings and be able to have the closed captioning. It's really a great benefit now.
I know that some people say, well, Zoom does closed captioning. Not all meetings are on Zoom. And the other thing is that closed captioning is not always 100% correct in how it does names. And for instance, Gratuit. It's always kind of interesting to see how that gets spelled and when you're doing things like that. But it brings things as close to accurate as possible.
Yes.
So which is why we rely on a different program that we invested in to make that happen.
Well worth the expenditure.
Very much so.
Well worth the expenditure. We are already coming down to a close for today's conversation, so I think that there may be another time where we'll bring you back again, because I know that you have a lot going on. But why don't you let us know when you meet and where?
Want to go for that one?
The third Wednesday of each month, and we're on Zoom.
Very good.
From 10 to 12.
Excellent. So the Zoom link will be on your agenda. That
Correct.
is on the town's website.
Yes.
So great. And now we're going to just change things up a little bit and ask you a bonus question. So
Surprise question.
Yeah, a surprise question. So Paul, what is your favorite season and why?
I would say, wow, that's a tough one. Last time it was easier. I would say the summer.
Because of baseball?
No, but I like your thinking on that. It's more or less just the entertainment, the on Cape Cod. When I say entertainment, there's so much going on in the summer. So many activities in the town of Barnstable, from concerts to baseball to drama to anything that you'd want. It's available during the summer in the town, and it's also available off season. But the summer just brings so much fun to me.
That's wonderful. And Tammy?
I like the fall myself. I just like the air, the colors. I like kind of going back to the routine of Olivia in school and, kind of going back into not hibernation, but a little bit of quietness and peace, but enjoying the outside with not all of the activities, maybe a little bit more quietness.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we want to thank our listeners for spending time with us and listening to Discover Barnstable, the official podcast of the Town of Barnstable. We hope you found a new understanding of how your municipal government works for you and our community. Be sure to drop us a line at podcast@town.barnstable.ma.us and let us know what you would like to learn next. Until next time, go Discover Barnstable.